Another big game up for Manchester United before we return to FA Cup action. The first game of the new year, Manchester United will be taking on Everton away at Goodison Park. And both teams are completely different in form compared to the last time we played Everton. Manchester United have been on a horrendous run of form the last 4 or 5 games, performing really poorly in some of these games. Some games lucky to come away with draws, other games should have won games and whatnot. But Everton, on the other hand, okay, they lost to Bournemouth at the weekend, but before that they were unbeaten in I think 7 games since Sam Allardyce took over, and he's really turned this team around from the hammering that they were taking before his arrival. They were getting hammered in the Europa League and whatnot. Manchester United swapped them aside earlier in the season 4-0, but it wasn't really the full story of that game. Up until the last 10 or 15 minutes, Manchester United were on the edge in that game. We were 1-0 up, and Everton only needed to score to probably get something out of it. And for some reason, Manchester United went on and scored another 3 goals and swapped them aside. But up till the last 10 minutes or so, there was real game on in that game. So that was the case a few times earlier in the season, but we were putting the chances away and weren't conceding many goals. Now, Southampton game was really, really poor for Manchester United, and I watched Everton play the other week against Chelsea, and they completely put the shutters out against Chelsea. Chelsea couldn't break them down, and they had 2 chances, one at the end of the first half. I think someone could have crossed it to Sigurdsson for a tap-in, and there was a Michael Keane header at the end of the game where Everton could have nicked it 1-0. I think the game ended with no chances on target for Everton, if I'm not mistaken, and Chelsea had like loads of shots on target. But Everton could have nicked that game 1-0, and that was Sam Allardyce's plan from the off in that game. How defensive they were at home probably was shocking for some of the Everton fans, but he's been brought in to make sure they stay up in the league after the horrendous start to the season. Certainly Unsworth didn't do Everton any favours. But they're back now, they're performing better than they were, and they're at home in this one. So this is going to be a really difficult game for Manchester United. And some of their players, like Michael Keane, are performing much better in that game. Ashley Williams is performing better. They were atrocious when Manchester United played them earlier in the season at Old Trafford. Both were not performing well at all. And a lot of people thought that Michael Keane was a shit signing, but now they're starting to perform a lot better. Sam Allardyce defensively has got them set up very well. They're not scoring too many goals, so hopefully that bodes well for Manchester United. But Wayne Rooney should be back in the starting lineup for this one. Has been banging goals in for fun under Sam Allardyce. Has got a few penalties, but scored a decent amount of goals, the same amount of league goals as Romelu Lukaku at this moment in time. I'm pleased for Wayne Rooney. I just hope he doesn't score tomorrow against us. Now, Manchester United probably are going to shake it up a bit. I don't know if Ashley Young is yet going to be banned. If he is, will he be banned for this game or for the next game? I think the next game is the FA Cup game, so against Derby. It will be a 3-match ban, I'm sure of it, for what he done against Southampton. If he's able to play, he will play in the right-back position, I believe, and Luke Shaw then in the left-back position. It's good to see Luke Shaw's able to get some minutes. If Ashley Young is banned, then hopefully Antonio Valencia will be back in the team for the next couple of games. We probably wouldn't need him, maybe not against Derby, but hopefully after that he'll be back. So that would give Luke Shaw some more game time if Ashley Young is banned. He might switch the defence up. Phil Jones will probably be one of them. I've got a feeling he's going to go with Rojo as well. It doesn't look like Smalling's going to be back. Lindelof will probably come out. Then he'll probably go for the 2-man midfield. A lot of people want to see a 3-man midfield, but he'll probably go for that. Matic and Pogba. Pogba's got to start getting a bit more involved further forward. Trying to do them Hollywood passes all the time from too deep. Manchester United didn't need to be Paul Pogba so deep against Southampton. Southampton aren't scoring goals. They had Shane Long up front for most of the game, who hadn't scored in about 27 games. So Manchester United should be going for games at Old Trafford. If we'd lost that game 1-0 and we'd bombed forward in that second half, it would have been hard to take, but you could have accepted it. But Manchester United going down with a whimper, and that wasn't good enough. I think they'd bring Martial back in, have Mata out on one side, Lingard out in the middle, and Marcus Rashford up front, because Romelu Lukaku is injured at this moment in time and will miss the next 2 games. So I think it's going to be something like that. There's no Zlatan Ibrahimovic either. He is injured as well. So probably most Rashford and Martial will start. Some people want to see Martial and Rashford maybe start as a pair. We could see that. We could see Martial start as the out-and-out striker, which we haven't seen very often. But if Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial are both starting, they could interchange. One could come out wide and the other one could go more in the striker position. Probably the better option would probably be Martial in the striker position because he's a bit more clinical, I think, when he's through on goal than Marcus Rashford. If he goes clean through one-on-one with the keeper, 9 times out of 10 you would expect Martial to slide the ball past the goalkeeper, but you're not always that confident with Marcus Rashford. But both of them have been in a bit poor goal-scoring form lately, along with Romelu Lukaku, so that is a massive problem for Manchester United. We need to get them banging in goals. I think Marcus Rashford's got something like about 3 and 19, and I think Martial's got about something like 3 and about 20 or something like that. It's pretty poor return of late for both of them, but they're still young. It's just the inconsistency is what I was worried about at the start of the season from Manchester United if Romelu Lukaku stopped scoring, which has been the problem for Manchester United in terms of forwards not scoring enough goals. Now, they've got some decent players in their team, Everton, and should nowhere have been languishing down in the bottom of the table early on in the season. Had a horrendous start, but they've got the likes of Sigurdsson in there, and obviously Wayne Rooney is going to definitely come out on all guns blazing tomorrow. You do know that against his former club. So I can expect Everton to cause Manchester United all sorts of problems. I'm hopeful Manchester United can get a result in this game. I would like to see Manchester United win, but I don't think we're going to win this one. I think it's going to be 1-1. Any sort of win would be great for Manchester United, just to stop this stupid rot that we are in with the draws and obviously that defeat to Bristol City just before the Christmas period. If Manchester United could win this game, it would give Manchester United a massive lift. The other teams have got difficult games. Liverpool are away at Burnley, and it's Arsenal and Chelsea this week. So some teams are going to drop points there, and Manchester United really need to try and capitalise on that, because we've got some difficult games coming up on the horizon. After that, we've got to go to Burnley and Tottenham in the next month. So Manchester United really need to get at least a draw out of this game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.